Welcome to the Steady Decline podcast. Remote. I'm here with my co-host,
DansDecline.
I am HawaiianShirtJoe.
And we're recording.
Yes, we are recording.
So now we don't have to worry about being awkward in stream. Now Joe can cut this out. Now I can say words like I was gonna say neighborhood.
Neighborhood.
Now Joe's gonna clip that and post it as a TikTok and just cut it off. My hair is wet. It is not greasy. I just took a shower.
My hands are wet because I just washed them. No other reason.
Why would they have been wet, Joe? I don't know. You gonna have a beverage, Joe?
I am not. Well, I am, but it's not gonna be alcoholic.
Why not?
Because
what's the point of this podcast?
Well,
there's no liquor involved.
I took 40 milligrams of Delta 8, in preparation. So
that's like 20 milligrams
of Delta 9. Yeah,
good.
Exactly. Yeah, and so that was the reason why. Mainly because
take another.
No.
Take 50 more milligrams.
No.
Rip a cart.
I actually do have a disposable here to use.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, the reason being because Sarah and I are like on a workout cut right now, and so we are like really watching our calories. And like before, like last week, I got drunk even though we were on the cut because I was like, fuck it. But like we have 3 more weeks left, and she was like, all right, these last 3 weeks, like let's just really be restrictive, like really stick to it, and then like after those 3 weeks we can just like kind of ease back because we go into bulking, and so I'll have a lot more calories to work with. I can start drinking again, and that will be through the entire end of the year. So it was just like more of a give up of like, all right, giving up alcohol and like a lot of that other shit for 3 weeks, and then I have the rest of the year to capitalize on it. Do you have a beverage tonight?
Potentially. I've not poured up anything, but I got a couple cans of Coke Zero to make my low-calorie alcoholic beverage. I pretty much do not have sugary drinks too often. Like the most sugary drinks I have are those root beers.
Mm.
I did buy a couple Buzz Balls. I think those are a little sugary, but they're kind of small, but they're very high.
And they're pretty efficient.
Alcohol.
They get you drunk quickly.
I get them as like a starter.
I get them as a chaser.
I'm not having. Oh yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
I've been having the Cran Blaster, which is just cranberry juice and vodka.
Vodka cranberry.
I don't really like many of the other ones. Vodka Cran's pretty simple.
Whichever one is in the green one is the one that I like the most.
It's like a margarita, like a lime.
Yeah, like lime margarita type beat.
That one is okay, but I'd rather just have like my own tequila and lime juice. And they're $3.99 for one ball. They're expensive.
They are expensive balls. Unlike mine, which you can see on OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding.
Not yet.
Not yet. Man, this feels weird not being live. It just feels like there's no pressure. We can do and say anything.
Yeah, say something, Joe. I'm getting some chapstick.
Dan is getting his assless chaps out.
No, that is not what was said.
I will put the subtitles underneath what he said, and it will read the truth that Dan is getting assless chaps.
Fuck you.
When the phone was originally invented, Alexander Graham Bell wanted people to answer the phone with ahoy. So next time you answer the phone, answer with ahoy and see what the other person reacts with.
Yeah, when I get a call from the job that I'm applying for,
ahoy!
Ahoy there! They're just gonna fucking hang up and be like, "Who is this fucking pirate impersonator?
Ahoy there, matey!
Trying to get a job." They're gonna. Dude, my lips are chapped. Do you use chapstick, Joe?
I don't.
I feel like we've talked about that before, but
I think
you have very big lips, and they are so
okay. So
they don't look.
I used to use chapstick in school, but let me say this before I start. Chapstick is a fucking scam. Okay, and let me
Not
tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Not all of them. I know this fucking conspiracy.
Let me tell you why. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy at all. When I was in middle school, I used to use chapstick all the time. My lips were always chapped as fuck. And I will say, like, in chapstick's defense, I was on Accutane. My skin was very dry. My lips were dry and cracked. But like after high school, I stopped using chapstick, and like my lips were just never chapped again, you know? And it's like once I stopped using it, I stopped having chapped lips. And then once I started using it, they would start getting chapped again. And I was like,
it's because you're getting the wrong kind of chapstick.
I would get Carfax.
Yeah. My sister put me on to chapstick that I think it's like the only one that works, and honestly, it's like the only stuff that like hydrates my skin. It's Vaseline.
Yeah.
It's just like Vaseline fucking chapstick, and which is it's just petroleum jelly. And I find it's the only one that works, and I don't use it often, but like just now I was like, man, my lips are chapped, and they looked all fucking. They still kind of look fucked up, but now they just look like I got lip gloss on. People really think I'm a woman.
We are getting ready. After this, we're going to go on Omegle. Dan is going to pretend to be a woman with his petroleum jelly lips. We're going to see how many dicks we see.
I know Omegle videos are dead. And I will say, Joe, like the amount of dicks have definitely decreased. Like
the dick to person ratio.
Yeah. Me and Cam, when we went on there, we saw like maybe one or two. I mean, you'll get guys that are jerking it, but they won't show anything. But there was a couple times where just like, there were some very not large penises at all that popped up.
Very average.
And a couple of those, like, the only other thing was like a couple of those, like those scam bait ones where it's just like a picture of like, go to this website and it's like a picture of porn.
Yeah.
But mostly it was just a lot of Indian men.
That sounds about right.
But we were on at like the middle of the night. So like, I think it was like daytime there.
For them. Yeah. They just have nothing better to do.
Like, I'd say about a good 30-40% thought I was a girl until I spoke. A lot of the Indian men stayed until I said something. And then they were like, they made a shocked face and then skipped. I mean, I had one dude that was like, he was like, he thought I was a girl. And then he was like, maybe it's just the angle you're sitting at. I was like sitting like this.
Oh, yeah, I could see it.
I was sitting kind of angled because Cam was like right here.
Yeah, sitting on the other side.
Or something. I think I was like, I can't remember. I was either like this or like, I was just turned to the side a little bit, but then for him, I literally went straight to the camera. He was like, no, it's not the angle. I'm sorry. And then he skipped. And I was just like, damn. Also, there was this one like chubby kid that after I started thinking, he was like, man, low key, I thought you was a girl. But then like, he was like, man, low key though, you kind of bad. And then I was just like, I just skipped. I was like, that's not what I wanted to hear from this chubby, like fucking
low key kind of bad though.
I don't want to embrace it because I am not a woman though. I don't have any.
Oh, Dad, you could make so much money in the femboy market these days. I tell you what.
But I'm also like, I'm chubby, like I'm big. Like me and Cam both got called fat a few times for sure.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, you fat as fuck.
Was that the Indian men that said that?
No, actually, most of the Indian men that weren't like fucking trying to like get me to show my boobs. Were they were actually not. They were just. They would always ask like, "Where are you from?" And then like they would always ask like, "How are you?" and "Where are you from?" And like they all like sounded the same. That's not. But they all every time they said those same thing, it sounded the same because I think that's just like the phrases that they learned in English.
Yeah. How are you? Where are you
like
from?
Where are you from? How are you? So I just started lying and said my name was Muhammad. And then they were like, yeah, it's a good name. And they asked if I was like Muslim, and I was like, yeah.
They're like, when do you worship?
Yeah, me and Cam just started lying too about our names and like where we were from and stuff.
I've done that. But the thing, I didn't do it on Omegle. There was one time I was on a flight to Texas. I think it was to visit my dad who lives here. And I was on an airplane and I was sitting with this guy and I didn't know him. It was just a random stranger. And like halfway through the flight, we started like talking to each other. And I don't know what provoked me to do this, but I just decided to completely lie to him about like every aspect of my life and just make it up on the spot.
Kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter to a stranger.
Exactly. And so this guy was asking me, he's like, oh, where are you from? And I was like, oh, and this is all lie, by the way. if you seeing this now, man, I'm sorry, you got duped, bro. But he was like, oh, where are you from? And I was like, oh, I'm from Texas. And he was like, oh, really? Are you in college? I was not at the time. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to A&M, which is Texas A&M. And he was like, oh, really? My son goes there. And I was like, oh, no way. What's his major? And like, we just started talking, but every time I lied, it was digging me deeper and deeper into the hole because this guy knew a lot about Texas.
I know, you gotta be careful with that. You're like fucking catch me if you can type.
Yeah, he was like, where do you live? And I was like, oh, I live on campus, but I lived in Houston before. And he was like, oh, in Houston, he's like, my company, he's like, I own a landscaping company and we do work all through Houston. What do you live in like an apartment complex? And I was like, yeah, I do. And he was like, oh, what's it called? And I was like, the Grand Oaks. I just came up with when you make up apartment names, you just take two random words and mix them together. Like you could say fucking, Crystal Falls or some shit like that, and it would probably be an apartment.
Riverside.
Exactly, yeah. Just right. I mean, Maplebrook or anything like that. Like that sounds like an apartment name. But he was like, I don't think we have them in our system. But he was like, yeah, if you're ever, down in campus and you see, you hear the name whoa, whatever his son's name was. He was like, tell him you met his dad. And I was like, oh, for sure, Jim, for sure.
That's how people get those nice hookups, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, I almost got caught in the lie. I was like trying to make up shit so on the spot. And I was like, bro, if this guy catches me in a lie and I have to be like, I just lied about everything. That's going to be so embarrassing for the rest of this flight.
That Vaseline made my lips very pink, bro. I do look like I've got lipstick on, bro.
I look so fucking red right now. And it's my shirt looks...
Your quality for me is now dropped to fucking 20p. So, you're literally 8-bit for me right now. So I can't really tell. I don't know what this fucking platform is.
You're coming through crystal clear on my end.
I don't know why you are. I don't know. Maybe it's because you're the one hosting it.
Might be because I'm uploading at the same time. But yeah, that's I went out. I got a sunburn today, which I think you can tell. Oh, holy shit! My shoulders are pretty sunburned.
Not with this quality. Yeah, I can assume.
Yeah, that Texas sun though, bro. You go out swimming for an hour and you come back in a lobster.
That's why you wear a swim shirt, so you do not burn.
Yeah, swim shirt. I used to wear a swim shirt.
Sunscreen, Joe.
Yeah, I know.
Sunscreen?
Well, I do, but it's just I don't give it long enough to nice set SPF. In. Especially in our mornings, we literally we work out, and as soon as we get done working out, you get dressed, and then you go swim to cool down. And so I don't really want to sit there with SPF on for 30 minutes and let it fully dry and set in, and so it normally just washes off once I get in the pool.
Sunscreen dries pretty quick, man. Okay, are you lathering it on fucking? You can always use the spray ones too. Those dry super fast.
That's true.
But you could always just put it on the spots that seem to burn, like your.
Yeah, I always burn on my
forehead,
shoulders.
Cheeks.
Yeah, that's my worst spot.
I need you to stay out this whole summer in the sun, Joe, and then shave your beard so you have a nice tan line.
I've been out in the sun for a while this summer. We've been swimming a lot more. We've utilized the pool at this apartment more than we have any other pool previously.
A lot of people use it because I do not like public pools.
Oh yeah, a ton of people use it, and this is a stereotype. But it's one that is true for my apartment complex. But there are quite a few. There's a large population of obviously I live in Texas. There's a large Hispanic population, and so a lot of weekends, you have a family that goes to the public pool, and there's 8 people in that one family that come together, and it's God damn, they only gave us 2 fucking pool passes. How many pool passes did y'all get? Holy fuck. So it does get packed very quick. We do have 2 pools, which does help. But that's why we like to go early in the morning because if it's not early in the morning or late at night, then the pool's just filled with kids, and I hate kids.
I don't like public pools, bro.
Oh yeah, because it's well, you do have a filter and chlorine and stuff. They do clean the pool, but
yeah,
as
but
much as they can.
everybody pisses in a pool.
Everybody does.
And the more I thought about that, the more I'm like, man, I'd be swimming through people's piss.
They do say,
and water gets in my mouth a little bit.
They do say that, like, on average, like, piss particles to like water particles, and like, don't quote me on this, is like 1 to 1 million. Like. So, like, even if someone pees, like, it's not like, you're getting, like, one particle
it's
here
not
and
crazy.
there. Yeah.
I get that, but...
That's, like, the whole thing with people now. Like,
It's just the thought, man.
I've met...
And it's also, like, people aren't always clean. You said you go in swim right after you work out.
Yeah,
you don't even shower beforehand. No. So you getting all your fucking grime and fucking sweaty ass cheek juice all up in that pool?
Yeah.
Like, bruh.
Yeah.
I don't know if... I get that chlorine probably will kill most of the bacteria, but it's just the thought of that, like, grime. Be swimming through somebody else's sludge, body sludge.
Well, that's why you get out there early. You get out there first when the pool's been filtering all night, and you're the first one to get in, so it's nice and clean.
That's why the goal is to have our own pool.
That is a good goal, but that's very hard to achieve.
Pool money is
getting a little more unattainable by the day.
Because, you can buy a place with a pool, they can have a good price, or rent a place with a pool, but unless they offer it, you got to pay for it to be cleaned, you got to cover it up before the winter or before weather.
Increase water bills.
Everything's balanced, water shock, pool, all that shit.
Yeah.
Water bills,
if the pool is like temperature controlled, that's like more to your electricity bill, which not all pools are temperature controlled, but
like if you rent a place and they offer like they take care of the pool for you, or they have services that come and clean them like every month or something, then I'd be like, that might be worth it as long as it's not like $500 more a month.
You just got to suck.
If it's
on
like a couple hundred,
wish long payment.
No, what is this? Is this some fucking 90s fucking porn? Pool's looking real dirty, Mrs. Slater.
I tell you what, when I was younger, I remember, what's so funny about this is, like, I remember my parents, and, like, I'm sorry, Mom, if you're hearing this, but my parents got Cinemax when I was in middle school, and I remember they brought me into the living room, and they sat me down, and they were like, Joe, we are getting Cinemax. And it also included like HBO and like, all those other movies. It was like a movie package. And they were like, Joe, we are getting this movie package, which includes more adult movies, like
why'd they even tell
I don't know why they told me, but they told me, and they were like,
because guess what, my parents definitely had that pack. They had like the the whole big movie pack. I definitely watched interesting softcore videos.
They sat me down and they were like, there's gonna be some adult videos or like movies and stuff, but they were like, we trust you that you will not watch them.
Oh yeah,
for sure, Mom and Dad. Yeah, totally. And then I watched them.
Bro, I definitely like fucking throw on the box TV, bro. Got some fucking
back.
It was always like softcore, just like you saw people fucking, but
you didn't see any more dick.
Than boobs jiggling.
You didn't see dick or vagina.
The angles were always like so perfect.
Yeah.
And anytime there was like anything more, like just like a girl getting up and like seeing her ass, I was like, oh! I was like, wait a minute, they almost showed it, but it was almost like that was more like exciting than like watching actual stuff, because you're like, there's a chance I can see something.
I remember there was like multiple movies I remember that all had to do around aliens, like alien, like the girls were aliens, and like
they were so
corny, worse. They were so cheesy, bro. They were awful.
There were some that were actually like had production quality.
Yeah, I would just skip through
honestly.
It. But
I don't remember any of the names though. There was also like a show. There were also like a couple shows that were like shorter.
The names would just be like bouncing beach babes go to space or some shit like that. Like they would just be like random descriptions.
What happened to those, man? Do those still
I think they're still on. Yeah, I think so. I don't have cable, so
I don't have satellite.
But I remember staying up late. I would try and stay up till like 10, 11 o'clock. I turned that TV real low, so my parents couldn't hear it. I'd go scrolling through the channels, man.
That'd be me watching Family Guy too. I always didn't want them to hear me watching Family Guy.
Really?
And Adult Swim. I would also on like DirecTV, like there were channel sections where you could buy like
Oh yeah, adult
or rent
movies. Yeah,
porn.
yeah.
And I would just go and read them to be like to see the descriptions, and they were always so crazy.
Yeah.
Just like of a description.
I would just
Like-
go watch the trailer, and that was usually enough time.
I never saw trailers. I didn't even do anything back then when I was watching that kind of stuff. Like I didn't know what fucking Jack It Off was.
Oh yeah.
So
It was Stroganoff.
It was more just like fucking, just being a fucking kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no,
You're
I
reading
mean,
stuff and seeing stuff that's, like-
when I had those channels, I knew what jerking off was. Like, I remember, like, I mean, not to get into it, but like, I remember the first time I jerked. I was like 13. Like 12. 12
I
or
think I was
13.
like 12,
Yeah.
probably. I don't think I.
But I didn't get
no
Cinemax
pre-12,
until
bro.
I was like 14 or 15.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro, man, my parents had those channels for a while. I mean,
Mine
I was
didn't.
watching that stuff probably at like 9 or 10.
9 or 10. Damn.
Definitely not good for the brain. I was a curious child, though,
Yeah.
man. They just gave me access, and
Yeah.
I was.
I had,
I would always just scroll looking for movies at night when I'd stay up late, and then all of a sudden these would come up, and I'd be like, "What is that?" And I'd click on it and be like, "Whoa, titties!" But I think I remember the first like titties I saw, very unexpected, was watching Titanic.
Oh my god.
It was PG-13.
Yeah.
And I was like, the boobs came out. I was like, whoa, PG-13. Titties is not PG-13, bruh. This is crazy.
Did you watch that with your parents or by yourself?
No, it was by myself.
that's
The
lucky.
first time I watched that movie was by myself in my room. And I like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
That's mainly why
Leo.
I watched it. And then, a nice
Unexpected.
fucking paint me like one of your French girls.
My
And then
my
titties.
aunt took my brothers to the premiere of Titanic, not knowing that there were
knowing.
and they were like,
I don't think a lot of people
they were
knew.
like 8 or 9 when it came out, and she took them, and she was like, when that scene came on, she was like, like trying to cover their eyes, like she was like, don't tell your parents I took you to
I
this.
don't know any other PG-13 movie that would ever show more than like
Yeah.
somebody's ass from the back.
Yeah, I don't think there is one. Well, yeah, that's rated R. Yeah, so I can't think of any other ones that would go that far. Yeah,
I think boobs are usually like rated
yeah.
R.
Normally,
and
they must
full
have
frontal
gave James Cameron
goes rated R.
special
and anything
pass.
more becomes NC-17. I think.
Yeah.
I've
I've never
not seen
seen
a
an
movie rated
NC.
that
Yeah,
forever.
I have not
Me-
either.
Not that I know of. Yeah.
But I will say I did see, like, I had watched adult like content like that. Like much younger age. I had like stepbrothers growing up, and like, obviously as older, they were aware of it, and so they would like
Yeah, you
show
didn't-
me it. And
We also didn't grow up in the era of porno mags. so
yeah,
we never
that's
had
true.
that, like, around us.
And I will
But
say,
I found some in a box one day. This is when I was much older, though, probably like 14, 15. I found some in a box, just like packaged up. They're old. They're probably still somewhere
probably
in my
vintage
house.
collectibles now.
They are vintage, fucking dude. So many bushes. I looked through them all. A lot of bushes, and also the ads, Joe. There was literally an ad in the back for roofies. It was literally like. It was so cursed. It was like, fucking, you want to have a good date night and you wanted to say yes? Buy these right now. Call this number. And I was just like, dog, no way. I think they look like they were from like the
70s,
maybe 70s or 80s. Maybe some from the 90s, but, bushes weren't very popular once the 90s hit, I
Yeah.
think, in like 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, I think. I don't
Everyone
know.
went
Not from
clean
that era.
shaven on the face and down below. My thing was like I had unrestricted internet access growing up, and so it's like there's only so
me too.
far you can go
Mostly.
before you find.
I had the
porn.
family computer.
Oh yeah, I just remember like
Well, in YouTube, I mean, even now, YouTube, you can still find shit.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
I think most kids did start on YouTube. They were like girls, kissing,
yeah,
hot
boobs,
girls kissing and
boobs?
hugging, boob misspelled,
big boob,
or like, bro.
But
Even if you knew words, you didn't know how to spell them, so it was always just curse fucking.
I just
spelling.
found like adult games, like that was what I did, because I would play like games on fucking like browser games all the time, and they would like it would lead down a path of like where I was playing games, and it was like, oh, when you complete this challenge, a naked girl pops up, and you're like, what?
I never played those though. I was definitely a browser gamer, which actually I saw a TikTok, like I think it was last night, that was like it was just it was a picture from a game that I used to play that just like unlocked nostalgia. It was called Gunblood. Did you ever play a game called Gunblood?
I don't think so. I don't know many of the names.
It was like a shooter. It was like a reaction time shooter where you would go up against different guys at different levels, and you had a revolver, and it did a countdown, and then you had to like draw the gun and shoot them in the head or heart or something to stop them from shooting you. And I was a demon at that game. That's where aim and fucking reaction time started.
I played a lot of Stickman games, like Stickman Sniper and fucking shit like that.
I played Strike Force Heroes. That was like my favorite. It was like basically Halo, but like 2D platformer. But it was multiplayer, so you'd play against people. And I was also a demon at that, bro. I wish I would have grew up on PC games too, beyond browser, because I bet you my aim would have been very nice when my brain was still fresh and unfucking filled with drugs and shit. I was not.
What was it? Oh yeah, I was gonna say I recently went back and played what's that game? Circle.io. Do you remember that? Or what was Agario? Yeah. Agario, yeah. I recently went back and started playing that because I was bored at work, and I was like, I need a browser game that's not gonna like flag anything, and I was like, that seems pretty safe. And so I was just playing, and also since it's Slither.io, I was also playing.
That was the one that came a couple years after.
I started playing that one because it's so much more like strategy based, because you're like trying to encircle people, and like I would literally spend like hours at work. I mean, in GTA roleplay, I would literally spend hours like sitting there, like trying to play these games, and I got so big, and then like my boss would come around the corner, and I just have to like exit out and be like, well, that's the game, But I was thinking like of doing a YouTube video or like a live stream and doing like playing like Agario or Slither.io until I become number one on the leaderboard, because I have never gotten number one on the leaderboard.
Oh, I did.
Really?
Oh yeah, on Agario, I still remember. I have a very specific memory of staying up till like 6 a.m. and I played for like 3 hours straight trying to get to number one. And I always used to like in the later time of Agario, you could like put a picture and like an image. So I would like name myself like IRS with the IRS logo, and I would just fucking absorb everybody. I got number one on Agario a couple times, but I don't know if I ever did on Slither. I wasn't as good at that one.
That one, it's so hard to do because the bigger you get, like the more little snakes try and come and fuck you over, and at a certain point, all you can,
because they're quick.
Yeah, too. Exactly, and it's so hard for you to avoid them. And so the only thing you can do as a bigger snake is just like encircle big snakes, and then just like get them that way. But when you're like a young little guppy, you're just like whipping around, killing people.
The browser like game site that I use the most, which I don't know how many people remember it, but not Doppler. It's like green based. Like the whole like interface was green, and every time you'd go to the home site, there was always like 6 or 8 games that were like the daily games to play, and they would always have like a list of like hit games, and I'd always just go through them. And that's where I played Gunblood, Strike Force Heroes. Trying to think of other games. I love the archery game where you were the stickman archer.
Do you remember the one with the two brothers, and you were like on a raft, and your little brother was in a floaty behind you, and you would try?
Yes, I love that game.
I love that game.
I think I played that one. I played that one a few years ago for nostalgia.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
I don't remember the name of it.
It's like Raft or something.
Raft Wars
yeah, something like that. But like, I used to do a mini clip. Was that min clip?
What is that one?
It was just another browser like where they had a bunch of games.
Oh, the game. Okay, they were like Angry Birds before Angry Birds, and it was usually like a medieval style one where you had a catapult and you threw different like fucking rocks and like fire and different things to knock down the like castle. I loved those for some reason.
Did you ever play that one game where you were a penguin and you were like going down the slide and you tried to get as far as you could?
Yeah, try to get as far.
And you like by the end you had a jetpack and you were just like.
I played like other versions of those too. Yeah, like, there was one with like a shopping cart.
Yeah, you'd hop in the shopping cart and you just rolled out.
Dude, this is crazy. I'm remembering a lot now.
Pulling a lot of memories out.
There was one where you was like a zombie type one of those where you had like a car and you had to like go as far as you can to kill the zombies, and then you'd move on to the next stage.
I don't think I remember that one.
Upgrade your car every time. Also, one of my favorite too was another like zombie game where it was like that, but it was like first person, and you get to drive, and you got to hit zombies and try not to get shot by like military, and then but every time you die, you have to upgrade your car more, upgrade the windshield.
Yeah. I used to have a mobile zombie game that was like that, and man, that shit would cook my phone, but I'd be in class like killing zombies left and right, like
mobile games, they still cook.
Yeah, until have you seen those memes where it's like Flappy Bird's creator, like as Oppenheimer when he shut down Flappy Bird, and he was like, "I have to do this. I have to shut down Flappy Bird."
Why do you have to shut down?
He thought he was Oppenheimer. He thought he was ending the world. I don't know. But Fruit Ninja, you know, yeah, he could have.
Oh, Fruit
Ninja, that was the one I loved.
Made a little bit.
Fucking Crossy Road, you know, I played that shit all the time.
That's a classic.
Fucking Sarah, she plays Roblox mobile now. So she just like plays Roblox on her phone.
Life is Roblox.
Roblox is life.
Which, come to find out, he does actually say roadblocks.
Who?
He doesn't actually. DJ Khaled.
Oh.
That's the meme I'm referencing. There's a meme where he hops out a golf cart and it sounds like he's saying life is Roblox. But he's actually saying life is Roblox.
Life is Roblox. But, well, you watched Barbie. How was that?
I did, and I saw Barbie. I enjoyed it. It's a good movie.
What do you think of the outrage surrounding it?
His outrage?
Oh, yeah.
How much outrage?
Quite a bit.
I've not really seen that much outrage. Well, I've seen people.
Everyone's.
I've seen women and men talk differently about it and like be very angry on one side.
Yeah.
Of the argument, but I've not seen like outrage. What's the outrage?
Just that it's like people are calling it like woke, and like, you know, I saw someone like this guy on Twitter was like they're trying to turn men gay, like they're not gonna be happy till we're all gay and woke, and like shit like that, and like. They called it like a man hating movie and shit like that.
Yeah, I'm assuming Fox News also said that.
Yeah, it's mostly Republicans.
I definitely heard my mom say something about. I found it very man hating.
Yeah,
and I was like, I mean, I'm gonna say I know what they were doing with the movie. It was very clear.
It was very women empowering. But that's not a bad thing. Yeah,
they were just flipping the scripts, and it's not a bad thing. But, you know, they tried to, like, also kind of mix in, like, a little bit of, like, trying to understand men and their problems. But they did it a little bit, like, not as well as they could have.
Yeah.
You know, they just kind of took the moments where you could have been like, oh, yeah, that's like a real men like issue, and kind of just played it up as like not being as important or as meaningful as the women's issues. I don't know if you can agree with that, if that makes sense. But like,
I can see like, how you would like interpret it that way. Yeah. But I do agree, you know, like
interpret it that way.
Fucking it's like one of those things where it's like, like they probably do that, you know, because like, you know, most other movies are like taking a lot of men's issues and like being like, women don't have these issues, you know. It's like the fucking know, the fucking brooding man, you know, who's going.
But I'm saying I get why people are saying like, oh yeah, this is. Well, I mean, I don't agree with the whole like, oh, this is making men fucking gay and fucking pussies. It's like that's not what he was trying to say. Yeah. Like, it's kind of like this man who didn't know what like really like being a man was. Went to a place where it's run by men, and then he was like, oh, this is how I be a man. Mm-hmm. And obviously he became super toxic by doing that, which is, I guess, kind of the pipeline that is how it happens. But I think it just, I don't know. I'd have to rewatch the movie too. I mean, the bad thing was I couldn't really fucking get everything in the movie because there were two fucking children in the movie, two 10-year-old boys wearing Stephen Curry jerseys. They were both wearing Stephen Curry jerseys, by the way. They were two fucking annoying-ass kids. No parents. They were sitting at the top in the middle, you know, and they were just laughing and giggling and making jokes throughout the whole fucking movie right behind me. It was so annoying. It got worse towards the end. In the end of the movie, there's like an up close shot of like Margot Robbie's lips, and they were literally like, "Oh, I want to kiss that." You know, they like said that like out loud to everybody. Oh, bro,
I want to kiss that.
They literally were like, "Oh, I'm gonna kiss that," and like just started making like weird noises. They started turning their flash on and off at a couple points. They just started just laughing for like no reason. There was nothing funny happening. The movie theater like lady, like she had like, you know how they come in at the end of the movies to kind of watch the end and then just like clear out. Like she would, like they were making those jokes, and she was just standing there staring at them, and she went like a few times, but that didn't do anything.
She was like, I don't want to fucking do this.
I was like I missed like the whole like last like 5 minutes because I couldn't focus, and I was just getting more angry and more angry. Like I was sitting there like, should I tell them to shut the fuck up? Like how bad would it be for me to say shut the fuck up to these children really loudly, and what would they say back to me?
Yeah, you know, like, you bitch, shut the fuck up. You should have been like Steph Curry's ass.
Because you can't hit children like, that you don't know. And even then, you shouldn't hit children that you should know. I mean, physical discipline's not always the right choice, but I'm not gonna fucking hit a kid, and like there's only so much I can say. Fuck
them kids, bro.
But I'm like, man, those kids, if they're this bad in public, God forbid you run into them on a fucking video game. Who knows what they'd say?
Probably a little racist.
There was a time where it maybe didn't, but I swear I heard the N-word. I heard the ending of a GER, and they could have said another word, but like, because they were being sort of quiet, but like louder than we would be. Like I know we used to talk during movies, but we'd like get really close and whisper to each other, like super close.
Yeah, we were always very.
And the only times we were loud is if the movie theater was empty.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we definitely were. We would laugh.
Yeah, but then it's like a private movie,
It is. Yeah, it's just a screening with your friends. But there was, there wasn't a ton of people in there. There was the 2 kids. There was like 2 women that were in the row below the kids. Then it was me, my mom, and sister. And like 2 people in the middle below. And then 2 people who came in late and sat in like the bottom section towards the top.
What were your mom
Also,
and,
that movie theater, man, so shit. It's gotten so much worse, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
The chairs are fucking squeaky and fucking so limp, very uncomfortable. My ass went numb a couple times sitting in them. The screen is so dim. Their projector must have not been changed anytime recently. This was in one of the first theaters, which is always the biggest one. It was so dim. Like I was literally like, "What? Did they turn the brightness down? Like, what the fuck?
Can someone turn the brightness up?"
Literally, the sound wasn't that bad. I mean. It was just normal sound, but then also there was a big mark in the middle of the screen towards like the bottom that looked like somebody took a big pin and fucking scratched into it. And that was a little distracting here and there. There was nobody there, and it was a matinee. It was at like 4:30 we went, and the ticket was $4. So I mean, as long as you're not buying drink, it's a cheap movie. Yeah. To be fair, for a matinee, it wasn't busy either. Like if those kids weren't there, my experience would have been better. But still, movie theater pretty mid.
Yeah.
The drink, my mom got a drink. I didn't get a drink because we went to eat Mexican before, and I ate a fucking nice Chipotle chicken. Had some water. But she got a drink, a large, which is not very big. Their sizes are not very large.
Really?
And it was like a $6 drink.
Our fucking theaters
like the
are massive sizes.
It was like the size of like a Wendy's medium is what the large was. But yeah, like going to like a Regal, bro, the medium is the size of your fucking skull.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful.
Let's say movie tickets here are like $12 a ticket usually. Sometimes, I mean, they jack them up for like feature films. So if you go with like in the first 2 weeks, you're looking anywhere from like, $15 to $18 to $20 if you go like to
our
XD.
Movie theaters tickets didn't really change.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure it's always been like $4 for the matinee, which is I think anything before $5. And then I think the regular tickets, I don't know how much they are now, but they were usually like $10 or $11, and they probably still are.
Yeah.
But they don't have they don't have anything else than that. They only have like 3D movies sometimes, but there's no fucking IMAX. There's no Comfort Plus. No fucking good.
It's XD now is what it's because
XD. I've not seen a 3D movie since I was like fucking 10.
Yeah. Honestly, I think 3D movies are just like kind of ass. Like it's like I would rather watch like a good movie. Yeah, it's like I would rather watch a movie without having the unobstruction of like fucking like I guess something like Oppenheimer.
It makes it dimmer.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
like whenever even when I watch shit on my phone, I always turn the brightness up a little, and I want to see like how it's meant to be watched. I want to see the colors. I don't want it to see it super dim.
Yeah, but I think maybe something like Oppenheimer would be cool, but I would not watch Oppenheimer in 3D for the first time. I would much rather watch it in IMAX, and then like 3D would kind of be like, oh, if you want to go back and just like feel the explosion more, you know. You fucking walk out of Oppenheimer in 4D and your skin is melted, like
you got like the soot on,
yeah,
like it came out of a cartoon explosion. That'd be funny.
Ask, what did your mom and sister think? Like, what were their
they enjoyed it. My mom definitely, she enjoyed it. She laughed a little bit, but obviously, she's, I think she watched some stuff afterwards and was like, she found it a little woke or whatever, and man hating.
Ah, men.
My mom was like, or we were talking about if it was kind of like a movie made for like children, and I was like, no. And my mom was like, I don't really think this is like for kids, even though it's like Barbie. And I was like, yeah, they made it PG-13, so you can take your kids, but I really do think it's geared towards people that had Barbies when they were young and people that are our age, which I think are like, I know people probably still buy Barbies, but like I feel like people our age and like my sister's age, they did have Barbies. Like I vividly remember my sister having Barbies. She used to make movies with them with her friend, like those little fucking like. Did you ever make like action figure movies?
No,
I don't think I ever did.
I never did, which is interesting.
Did you ever?
Because we were both cinematic.
You didn't grow up around girls, did you?
I somewhat did, not like very. It was like sporadic. Like there would be like.
Well, because I was gonna ask, did they make like fucking movies with their dolls and stuff? Because that happened a lot with.
I remember making movies, but like whenever like I made movies, it was with my friends, and it would always be like us like doing stuff. It wasn't like action figures or anything like that. I just never filmed it.
Yeah, I definitely would like throw my sister's Barbies. Definitely wasn't very nice to them.
Well, you went to Barbie, you paid them back. I saw there was a mom who got really upset about the Barbie movie because she took her kids to see it, and she was like,
"Oh, it's so."
She was like, "This is like Barbie. It's a kid's toy. Like this is supposed to be a kid-friendly movie."
The only kids Barbie stuff is those. There's animated Barbie movies, which my sister used to watch, I think, and those are for kids, literally. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, I think it's more for people that are like our age and a little older, but also people that just like Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, which is a lot of people. Yeah. Because I mean, men love Ryan Gosling.
Men love Ryan Gosling, and women love Margot Robbie. Yeah.
She is a really good actress. I love many projects that she's been in. Many projects, obviously. But I think what you kind of sucked, the first role I ever saw her in was Wolf of Wall Street.
Which,
I'm pretty sure
that was her first major role in America.
But she was super sexualized and
she was surprisingly young. She was only 23 when she filmed that. She was literally our age, and she was in that big of a blockbuster. And it was her choice to do the scenes nude.
The full frontal fucking nude. Yeah, that's like pretty big. And she had said for a while that it was fake, but then like she was just like, no, it wasn't. I just said that so like my family wouldn't.
Get mad. She
think that I was fully naked on the screen, which I was like, that's fair to say. Yeah, because like
they said, Martin Scorsese like originally wrote it to where she fucking comes out in a bathrobe, and then she was like, she wouldn't do that. Like she would come out naked because like her body is like her power, because like he has money, she has her body.
But I also think, like, she did amazing in fucking...
Once Upon a Time.
Harley Quinn.
Oh, Harley Quinn, yeah.
Once Upon a Time, her role was kind of
smaller,
yeah. It was good, and,
But yeah, Harley Quinn, I do...
a lot of shots of her feet.
Yeah! Which I know she said in an interview about the Barbie movie, she talked about... How many movies feature her feet?
She said she liked it.
Yeah, she was like, I don't really care. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
She's like, I'm happy that people like it. I'm like, do you know what people are doing to your feet? Have you ever been on Wiki
Feet? They're rating them.
That movie that she did with Will Smith, I don't remember the name, but it was like this. Yeah,
that was a good movie too. Yeah, man, I was like. I remember the rumors going around about like, Will Smith and his wife being in an open relationship. And then like Will Smith and Margot Robbie were literally like in multiple movies in a row together. And they were like always seeming very friendly or like,
he should have left. He should have left her for her, man.
Yeah.
Like And now like there's like there's Margot talking about
her
like, being married. She's like, I love being married. Like it's so awesome. I'm so happy. And dude, Will Smith just probably cried. Like God.
Will Smith, I feel so bad for him. He literally had the greatest run possibly of all time. Like from the 90s to like 2010s. Like he was the king.
Bro, listen,
you know?
If like, I mean, he got that Oscar, but then he did the slap.
Yeah.
But then like a year or two before was whenever that whole drama with her cheating and like the memes of like them talking and her just like explaining how like good it was or something.
Yeah.
Just be like,
yep. Yeah. That's what I was saying. It was like right after the 2010s, it was like he went from like being like a blockbuster leading actor, like having
a rapper,
you know, he was so famous, rich, like his family was killing it. You know, Jaden Smith seemed like he was on, big trajectory. Willow Smith was winning awards, like,
Will Smith, still and made many big songs that I didn't realize were
her. Yeah. And then, like, it seems like it all just, what goes around comes around. He was just due for a teaspoon of bad luck, a fucking cup, like a gallon of bad luck.
I don't know. Will you think he'll make a comeback? He's not really done much.
I don't know at this point
since he did that. Played the Serena Williams dad.
Yeah, it feels like I don't know. It feels like he's kind of.
Was that his first Oscar too?
It might have been.
I think it was.
I think it might have been. He was nominated.
Did he win one
for
the Pursuit of Happiness?
I was gonna say not the Pursuit of Happiness, the football movie, the Concussion.
I love that.
I think he was nominated for that, but he didn't win it. I remember watching that movie in theaters. Did we not watch it together? I thought we watched it together. I was under the assumption.
If we did, it was afterwards because I have a very vivid memory of seeing this movie, and it was because my dad was having a meeting with the Masons, and I was like, I'm bored, so I walked to the movie theater and was like, oh, Concussion, so I watched it there. Did you show up?
I might have. I don't know.
I think the first time I watched it was by myself. And I think I might have watched it again. You should go see it, and we might have watched it together.
Yeah, I just remember watching it in the movies. I remember, tell the truth. You know,
that was a good movie. But yeah, I think Pursuit of Happiness was probably one of his best roles.
Makes me cry every time.
That was very emotional. Yeah, very good role. I Am Legend is one of my childhood favorites. I know that movie mixed reviews. Not everybody loves it, but I think
it's the ending, and I know
they should have used the alternate
they should
ending,
have.
which was much
which
better.
They said now it is canon because they're coming out with the second one. I don't know if you knew or heard about that.
I did not.
Yeah, so basically the second one is canon. The dog.
The dog, the mannequin.
I will say,
what are you doing out here, man? No.
When I was younger, I liked the ending. I thought the ending was noble sacrifice.
Me too.
Yeah.
Of course. As a child, as I grew up, once I learned of the alternate ending, I was like,
wow,
come on.
I thought it was cool though. Yeah, the way he went out. I was like, I was like,
I read the book.
I Am Robot. I Robot. That's what it is. That movie. Oh my god, I've watched that movie probably 10 times over.
Literally like Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, but with a robot. Yeah,
that movie.
Fucking Spooner. And then fucking Shia LaBeouf. Spooner.
Dude, Will Smith was just racist towards robots.
He was
in technology. Yeah. He was basically Ted Kaczynski.
Who's that?
The Industrial Revolution and its consequences. The Unabomber.
Oh, I didn't know his actual name. I just knew him by the Unabomber.
Bro does not know Theodore Kaczynski, who is now dead, who hung himself in his cell at 80-something.
Hung himself or was hung? Was he well hung?
He tried to kill himself before.
Yeah.
I thought you knew about Ted Kaczynski, bro.
To be fair, I hate learning.
And he wrote that manifesto, The Industrial Revolution and its Consequences, and the whole thing was him talking about how technology is our demise.
Yeah.
Which he made, listen, many people, and I sort of agree, if he wasn't, fucking crazy and blew people up, he actually
That's
made
where he
some
lost me.
Like, he actually made some philosophical points about tech. But there's definitely some stuff that was incoherent, but, I mean, it's our government's fault, too, Joe, with him which I don't know. You say you don't really learn about this stuff. This stuff always intrigued me.
It never intrigued me.
I didn't know until like I watched like a little documentary like show on him, and Ted Kaczynski, he was involved when he was in. So he was really smart. He went to college when he was like 16, like MIT or something, and he went to college during MK Ultra experiments, and they experimented on him. Like they experimented on college students with psychological like fucking experiments, but it was when he was like 16 and they fucked him up. And yeah, and then he ended up being the Unabomber. So it's kind of our government's fault, not gonna lie, that he became who he is. But I
don't know if you've seen. There's like a skit about the Tuskegee trials, where they fucking gave a bunch of black people like syphilis and a bunch of sexual diseases to like test the effects. And like there was a skit, and it was like, I wonder, like how that conversation went, and these guys coming home with STDs and then being like, honey, I swear the government was shooting me up with a needle and that gave me the STD. And the wife being like, who's gonna fucking believe that? Who's gonna believe that, Dale? Like
that's a hard excuse.
Exactly. It's like, how is that? I can't make that sound reasonable.
I don't think they knew though. I mean, they told him it was like
just a vaccine. Yeah,
I think they were lying to him.
Yeah. So. Let's say JID is a good song about those experiments called Skigi. Give it a listen.
Yeah, it's understandable a lot of the distrust in the government and the things they do because of things that they've done, which are proven.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say, I don't know. Have you watched the new season of Black Mirror yet?
I've seen the first
2.
2 or 3. I've seen the first 2 or 3.
Did you watch the one about the like they were making a documentary in like England and they were we just watched that one the other night.
Oh yeah, I watched the first 3 then.
Yeah.
I watched that one. I watched that first one with like the AI, which is very weirdly on top.
That's why they fucking pushed it back so far. They were like, it's too real right now, and it's not getting any
And the main
less
reason
real.
I started watching that season was I wanted to see the Aaron Paul episode.
Oh yeah,
and that episode was very good.
I haven't watched that one yet.
Oh, that one's really good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was nice.
But we just watched the one about the like true crime doc, and it was.
It's always the woman, man.
Yeah,
it's always like that.
Yeah.
Woman. Like, have you ever seen the movie Prisoners?
No, with Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, and Hugh Jackman.
I've seen so many clips from it.
Dano.
Yeah, I've seen so many clips, but I haven't fucking watched it.
Oh, it's such a good
scene where fucking Hugh Jackman is like smashing the hammer into the thing. He's like, "Where is he? Tell me!" Like I've seen that probably like 100 times, but I still haven't watched the movie.
Well, I finally watched it like the other night on it's on Netflix.
Oh, okay,
pretty good. You should watch.
Where is my daughter? Yeah, I heard they all give really good performances in that.
No, everyone in it, they give a great performance. Moved off topic very quick. Yeah. We were talking about Will Smith.
Yeah,
I talked about Ted Kaczynski. And then Tuskegee experiments. Very, very off the rails. So.
Let's see. I got a list of topics, but I'm trying to find one that doesn't make me want to die.
What list are you looking at?
I generated a list of topics from ChatGPT.
Well, we still also have Florida jackpot winner Lil Tay.
Oh yeah, Lil Tay.
The big thing which has happened this week in streamer news is the H3 and XQC.
Okay, so I don't understand. So I've been seeing them like take shots at each other online, but I don't like. So I was wondering how XQC and H3 like the feud got started, and someone said it was like because of XQC reacting to stuff, and it's like, and H3 was like calling him out for it or something.
Yep, that's how it started. I'm pretty sure like he was H3, so like my stance is I'm definitely behind H3 on this one, which that's hard to say because I don't really like H3 anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with a lot of his stuff. He's kind of died out. But one thing that I know he knows about is copyright and that stuff. He literally went through a lawsuit for like 3 years. Yeah. Remember that whole thing because somebody was trying to sue him. Then they had to get lawyers. And, the whole thing with like fair use and stuff they talked about forever. So if there's one thing I think that he knows what he's talking about on, it's that. And yeah, he started like just calling out XQC because I think like I don't know if somebody brought it up. I don't watch H3, but I'm pretty sure like he saw like how he was like XQC was reacting to stuff and how he just uploads the full thing to YouTube, and he says like a few things, and also the only thing he doesn't shout out, he doesn't like push, he doesn't tell people to go sub, he doesn't tell people to go watch that video. All he does is give them a link in the description without saying anything about it. And sometimes he will name the video the same as the title of that video.
XQC reacts to
so it's
blah 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 blah.
It's basically just straight ripping, and that's what H3 was saying. This dude's he is just straight up stealing, and XQC was like, "Nuh-uh, it's fine."
Valuable feedback.
And then the debate, I watched pretty much the whole debate that him and H3 had, and XQC is a fucking idiot. I knew he was stupid, but that man is so fucking stupid, Joe. Like, it's so surprising. Like, just at a certain point, dude, like, I don't know. He also after the fucking stream ended, he went to Destiny. I don't know if you know who Destiny is. But he's like this. He debates people all the time. He's like sort of like, I think he's like liberal, like sort of like conservative, but he has a lot of debates and stuff. He ran to Destiny fucking and was like, what did you think of the debate? How did you think I did? And Destiny was just like, bro, you did ass. Like, you fucking sucked. Like, that was horrible. Like, and then XQ was like, wait. He was just getting mad. He was just getting mad. Like, oh, what do you think about him getting mad? And Destiny was like, he really didn't get that mad. Like, you're just like, he really didn't get mad. You're the one who's like freaking out. And like, also the big meme is he just started doing the worm during some part.
Oh yeah, I saw like just a screenshot of that. It's so random.
But his points were just not very like clear, and obviously XQC is very hard to fucking understand. But in Destiny, which, I mean, he debates people. I don't really like him or follow him or anything, but he was just telling me, he's like, H3, it looks like he came prepared for a debate and had points, and you just didn't. You just came in there and did it. Yeah. And you just said, like, some bullshit, which is what he did. And then, like, it basically just ended with fucking XQC, like, DMing fucking H3 and was, like, trying to flex on him.
Picture of his watch.
Like, I saw, there's obviously a lot of fucking XQC writers that are like, yeah, bro, he flexed on him, man. Fuck him, like, get your money up.
Get your bread up.
But I'm like, bro, if to win an argument, you just have to start flexing your fucking monetary fucking gains, you lost the argument. You lost the argument. Just like, imagine arguing and then just being like, well, do you have $5,000 in your hand right now? Yeah. Do you have fucking $1 million watch?
Do you have a 10-inch penis?
because you are poorer than me, that makes your points mute, and I am better than you, clearly. Like, that's so stupid. And like, he was flexing a watch that he had he was like, yeah, this watch worth more than your house. Yeah. I was like, H3, he may not be making as much as XQC, but he has a lot of fucking money.
He's got millions.
Like, to be fair, I'm pretty sure he lives in a multi-million-dollar mansion.
Hila's fucking clothing line is in fucking every Spencer's and fucking like.
He tried to insult Teddy Fresh because they've had like problems where they had stolen designs. Mm-hmm. But then, Hila actually came on and was like, started talking.
Yeah, I saw the clip where
XQC upset.
Yeah, I saw the clip where he like said something about Hila, and then she like came and sat like, and she was like, "What about me? Like, I don't care about this."
Because they just were saying like, yeah, we took care of that issue because we had designers that were stealing, and then we took care of the problem. Yeah. And they were just like, why aren't you taking care of your problem that you clearly have with stealing content? Yeah. And XQC is just like, money. His basically whole point is like, I like making money and I don't care that I'm stealing from people. And, I still see people like take his side in comments and stuff. And he's like, man, like, I would love to have XQC watch my shit no matter what. Like, that's free advertisement, like, completely. Yeah. And I get that side of it. Like, I always understand that. But if you're just like taking something and not pushing people towards their channel,
and especially re-uploading it too, like that takes away from the original views. It's like people might go to the video and watch it. If you react to it on stream, they're like, "Oh, I remember that video. Like, I want to go watch it." They're going to go watch XQC react to it. All the money goes to him and not the original creator.
And I saw many people say it's like, "Well, I didn't care about that video I only care about it because he's watching it. And I'm like, most brain dead individuals, like fucking, I only care about watching this because this guy is watching it and saying, "Ah, funny, that's so hilarious." It's you see funny moment. It's such like fucking brainworm fucking activities, bro.
Speaking of,
and like I don't understand like why, you can't just like at the beginning of the video be like, "Oh, hey, check out this guy's channel. Link in the description. Go watch his whole video." And then instead of uploading the entire video, clip it together with your moments of commentary and maybe some of the video that are big context, but leave out chunks of the video that does like make people want to go watch that video too. Yeah. You're still going to make money from that video, from free content that you just made that takes no effort. Like you could literally, bro, if we could do react content, that takes like fucking 5 minutes to edit on our own. You don't even have to pay somebody to edit it. Like you just have to sit there and be like nod and like say something funny or like try to add context. But people, if you're big enough, you don't really even have to add context. You don't have to say much of anything, which most streamers kind of do. They don't really add much to react content anymore. But you once you're at that level, you can just do that. Yeah. And to be fair, like I mean, I'd love to be at the point where we could just react to like stuff. Like, but I'd also, if we were gonna upload it, I think streaming it's different. Like, yeah, you can just stream like I mean. As long as it's YouTube and not stuff that's like legally binding, like fucking movies and stuff. Like, I know you've streamed movies, but like,
but they don't catch me, bro. You know,
well, they don't really,
care because I'm so small.
You're not trying to make money.
Exactly,
it's the making money. Yeah, like I get that's fine, but like if you're uploading it to make more money separately,
and also like taking it, you know, and it's.
I don't know, like XQC, I thought he just used to be like normal and just like having fun streamer. He wouldn't do the stupid flexing shit, which I think flexing is so like.
I think his brain's
if you're
been
using,
melted.
I think flexing is okay in the sense of like you can show off what you have as long as you're not doing it maliciously to try to be like I'm better than you 100%. But if you want to take a picture with your nice car and your like nice fit and watch, do it. But like using it as a point to be like fuck you, I got bands. Like, I think that's just, like, a little immature. Yeah. Like, do you think people that are actually multimillionaire billionaires are sitting there fucking talking to – I mean, some probably do, but, like, you think they're fucking, like, flexing on people that are fucking broke to try to be like, fuck you, your point doesn't matter. When it has nothing to do with money. Granted, if you're talking about money, I guess, like, that's fair. Maybe you can flex. That's an argument. But if it's nothing about money, which – I guess it was sort of about money, but more like you're stealing and making money. That's not fair. But XUC also did say if his team wins the Sidemen charity match, he'll quit React content completely.
I feel like he will not abide by it. I feel like there's so many people now. I'm seeing it so much as I get older, but so many people, like I don't think the Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg fight is going to happen. Like, and until it does happen, I'm not going to believe it does because I just feel like Elon, you know, fucking, he like speaks a big game, but I don't think he ever follows through with anything. And the only thing he did follow through with is fucking Twitter. And that was only because he made a legal offer that he couldn't rescind, even though he tried to. And they were like, no, you gave us an offer, bitch. You have to honor it. And we want to sell.
Yeah, I think Mark would definitely be down.
Oh, yeah. Mark is.
I'm pretty sure Mark's younger and he's also fit and he does like.
He practices a lot. You know, and he has a cage in his backyard.
And I know Mark still does like some stuff for the companies, but I mean, I'm not like defending either one. I think like Elon is definitely more involved with the things that he runs. Like, you know, maybe not Tesla as much, but I know SpaceX, he's still like constantly around working on that stuff. And obviously, I don't know how much he's focused on Twitter, but like I feel like he definitely works on more stuff than like Mark does now. I could be wrong, but
yeah, I just don't think
that's just like the vibe I get.
I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's like posturing, and then like, you know, right before, you know, they like have it, you know, they're gonna be like, oh, talks have, you know, staled out, or, you know, I had this injury come up and blah blah blah, and I can't do it. You know,
I mean, they could both just be like, oh, I got business.
Exactly.
I'm busy.
But I'm busy. I think they're just gonna like, you know, I think Zuck is up for it, but I feel like Elon, I just don't think he's going to do it. I think he just talks a lot of shit and he doesn't back it up, you know, and then he just finds ways to like excuse himself out of it.
But also that that clip of XQC maids cleaning his room
Oh yeah,
while he was streaming.
Sarah thought that was so
Just to
funny.
Just to add to like the kind of person that man is now. And it's like, I get, yeah, if you had a lot of money, I'd be paying people to clean. Probably.
I would.
But like, while you're streaming your own room, that's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's so like,
yeah. That's why I was like, bro, like, can you not
Like,
schedule
clean your own
them
room.
to like come at a time when you're just not streaming? Like, is that hard for you to do?
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sure they didn't want to
Or
be
can you
on
just-
camera or just stop streaming, do
or
a
can-
be
or
right
maybe,
back,
like, clean-
you know?
or just clean your own room.
Yeah, you can also do that.
Clean your own room. Have them clean your other fucking areas, but like, maybe just clean your own room. And I don't know. He should have, you know, I mean, obviously they're getting paid, but they're probably not getting paid that good.
Yeah.
Did he tip them? I don't
don't
know
know.
if that happened.
We
Like,
don't know.
if I had cleaners, I would literally tip them every time. If I had enough money
Yeah.
to pay for cleaners, I would 100% every time before they leave, I would leave them a tip. Because like, they are doing something for you that you could literally take 20, 30 minutes out of your day to do, and you just don't want to. And you're paying them for that nice service.
I will say, I
Little-
fucking hate doing dishes. I would happily pay someone to do dishes.
They have a dishwasher. That's why they have
Yeah,
dishwashers.
yeah. But dishwashing, laundry, two things I hate doing. It's a monotonous thing that I do every week that I do not enjoy.